Hi guys, thank you for tuning in to the Alan Show. Thank you for visiting the show. For those who have subscribed, I love you and I'm praying for you every day. I'm not a preacher, you guys know now. If you've been watching my show, I'm a salesman, but I'm a believer too. I also have a family and I also have dreams like everybody else. I began to do this show for one reason. Long time ago, before all this new century of turmoil, I had a dream. And in that dream, there was a real terrible thing that happened to the world. Remember that Fukushima of 2011? Well, that was a child's play in compared to what I saw. Well, that dream terrified me so much for two reasons. One, I never had a dream before. My dreams were never nothing more than just anything but, and that dream was very clear and specific. From that time, I was never the same. I like drawing and I like art, so I went on and I drew what I saw in a hypothetical. I saw the world bleeding, and this happened just at the beginning of the century. I saw the world bleeding, but I knew exactly what it was. That was the difference. I saw the world bleeding from greed, from pure greed. And I said, well, I drew it and I kept it. I posted a long time ago on my Facebook, long before all this happened, when I first got that. And I have it there. But it's a little similar like this, but with like a theater. And this is, but it's more elaborate. And there's a hand holding it. Like the hand of God holding it by it. And it's, I'll show it to you sometime. I kept my life going and I didn't make anything of it except for that it was very specific. So I was very careful how I managed my greed, because I said, well, I want to have my family. I don't want my family to be, is something that I can't help. So I said, well, let's manage it, but at the same time, you're human, right? But I kept that in the very forefront of my life. And I have arrived to this point. I see that dream unfolding before my eyes. Today we have people standing, demanding justice, but it looks more like revenge to me. As a salesman, we know how to read people's real intentions with experience, because we have been told things so many times that it becomes like a radar, like a sonar on a submarine, that he knows where the real thing is so he doesn't hit it. This is what it came to me as an inspiration today, and very appropriate being Sunday. But I had this come to the forefront again today. I don't even know why exactly, but I know that I have to do this. Let me move a little bit to this side to tell you a few things. We're having a nation divided, but it's not completely divided. It's only in an area. But there is something that was written long time ago on Matthew 12:25. And it reads as follows. Matthew 12:25. Every kingdom divided against itself, it's brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Well, that sounds to me like a promise. Now, I always try to prove this book wrong, and I always fail. Not that I'm not a believer, I am a believer, but it's one of my things to always want to prove things, have facts. So I said, well, people is very dismissive. They say, I don't believe in that, don't even talk to me about that. And I am a very cosmopolitan man. I am very imperfect by far, but I know a good thing when I see one. So when people dismiss this so much, then I get curious, because the populace has always been proven to perhaps been wrong for their own good. We've seen in many wars and many chaos where massives of people, they go and create chaos, and it only turns out being their own demise. It's not so much that a nation divided will fall, but he is very specific to say city and house. And that is my main concern. Because there's a house in every city. But what happens if your house is divided? The other thing that I want to bring to you is the Revelation 19, where all the prophecies will come to play. From plagues, to wars, to famines, to pestilences, to people not liking each other. Well, prove me wrong, because so far I tried so hard and I haven't been able to. As a salesman, I'm always skeptical. It's always been my thing since I was born. Even when my mom said, I always say, wait a minute. Maybe there's another way. Sometimes I got in trouble. That rebellious heart has always brought me to this point of submission to say, you're right. Why fight with you? It brings me to peace and love for humanity, because we are so funny in the end. But pain is not funny. Humor, right? It's always been the cure to pain. But right now, the world is in pain. And that's not funny. Maybe later. It's time for us to find a new way. We reject everything and it proves us wrong. Maybe it's time to surrender just a little bit to see if it works. It doesn't hurt. Anyways, you can always go back. The pain is there, the signs are there. How much can you withstand? Well, let me bring you to one more thing before I go. Buy low, sell high. When people disobey the rules of the universe, call it God or whatever. There are a lot of opportunistics, guys in suits and ties, ready to pick up the pieces for pennies to the dollar. So before you go out there in your city trying to fix your problems by destroying your house, remember this: buy low, sell high. Somebody is going to pick up that house for pieces and for pennies to the dollar and sell it back for tremendous profits. Is it justice or is it revenge? By looking at this, justice is an inspiration of God. Revenge is a stubbornness of man that has failed time after time after time. And it will fail this time again. God bless you. Please share, like, subscribe.